Hey guys, hey, this is Belton here with Element 5 Fitness, www.element5fitness.com. Basically, we're here at the Fitness Info Summit. I got Rick Kaselj. What's up, Rick?
I'm doing great.
So Rick and I, we originally met in Canada. We were doing some MAT Jumpstart. Pretty cool thing is that Rick has become an authority when it comes to transitioning from rehab, working with a little bit more special populations, and I think that's kind of a need that needs to be addressed. A lot of us trainers want to jump right into just sports performance or athletes or fat loss, which is really going hardcore, but they shy away from these groups of people that need the Ricks out there and whatnot. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about that because I think there's a good transition. So Rick, if I was a trainer and I didn't know where to start with Mrs. Jones, what are some of the things that maybe I can connect with you that you would be able to help me out with?
I mean, the big step is, you want to make sure that there's nothing extra serious going on. Mm-hmm. So if you feel like you're outside of your scope, or you might be taking on too much, get the person to go see their doctor or physical therapist just to clear, just to make sure that there's nothing serious going on. If they've been approved verbally or written to be in an exercise program, you need some more tools and education when it comes to addressing that injury. And a lot of times what it relates to is like knee, back, and shoulder. Those tend to be the most common injuries that I come across. And you need a little bit more information and education and experience working with those injuries. So I'm not talking about someone that's completely acute, like they have just ripped their ACL and broken it, and now the next day they're going to jump in the gym and start an exercise program. I'm talking about someone that's had surgery, they've gone through physical therapy, the swelling's decreased, they're nearly got full range of motion, but now they need to they've done everything they can in physical therapy. Now they need to move on to the gym and continue on. And what's needed is trainers that can handle that transition, that can help the client progress and not irritate or make that injury worse.
Cool. So Rick, if let's talk about shoulders, for example.
Yeah.
I got a client that has some shoulder issues. I don't want this lag time. I don't want to not see them for 4 months, lose interest, they find something else. Maybe we don't even connect. What are ways that maybe you and I can work together, whether you're up there or we were in the same facility, or people, trainers near you, that were the turnaround time, what are you going to do with that client, and then transitioning back to me, so there's a continuum, I guess is the right word.
Yeah. There's a number of things you can do with the shoulder. If we start off with the lower body, they're completely clear to do everything when it comes to the lower body. So if you're getting them to do squats or lunges, you just limit the upper body movement. So they can still get a great workout. Now when we get to the shoulder, you can go back to the start when it comes to the shoulder, so you can start working on scapular stabilizers, which is super important, and it's very much like the core in the low back. The core in the abdominal area, when you get a back injury, the core muscles stop working properly. The same thing happens in the shoulder. When you get an injury, the scapular stabilizing muscles stop working, so you need to work on those muscles. Excuse me. You need to work on those muscles. And then the second thing is you can modify the exercise that you get them to do. And a big part of it is just limiting range of motion. So you can get them to do movements that limit abduction, because that puts a lot of stress on the shoulder, especially when it's injured, and you can minimize flexion. And another thing that I do, if they aren't able to handle resistance with flexion and abduction, is to get them to do isometrics.
So is that one of the protocols you use, MAT? And what are some of the other methods or different techniques or stuff that you do to help with that shoulder? You got MAT, I know we do that.
Yeah.
What are some of the other methodologies you use?
Everything I do is exercise based. So it would be like with the scapular stabilizing muscles, it would be work on activation, to work on endurance, and then to work on incorporating proper activation endurance into activity. With the isometrics, it would be something that I would end up getting them to do on their own, and to kind of work on the full range of motion. So I find a lot of times with overhead activities, people with shoulder problems can't handle the resistance, so getting them to do isometrics over shoulder height activates those scapular stabilizers and improves their range of motion.
Okay, so that's fine and all, Rick, but we got a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not going to send my clients to Canada. No, nor are you going to fly down to Seattle or Orlando, wherever these trainers are at.
Yeah.
How can we connect with you? What do you have online? What do you have to offer?
I mean, and I've heard a lot of people, a lot of trainers from all over the world complain about that, because I do most of my courses in Vancouver, Canada, and they're having it's a little too much to come see me. So what I've started to do is webinars that allow people to hook up from all over the world and get the information that I have. So I do a monthly webinar on a specific topic. So last year it was like the most effective rotator cuff exercise program. So I went through the starting exercise program I get to go through for a client with a rotator cuff problem. 2 months ago I went through my scapular stabilization exercise program. So I'm starting to do these webinars that are live, and if you can't make the live webinar, you can view the recorded webinar. So if you go to exercisesforinjuries.com, you can see what upcoming webinars are. I've got one on corrective exercise for running, because about 65% of runners stop running because of injuries, and we probably all know that, or I've seen that with their clients. And in December I'm doing one on various ACL exercise programs. So for clients that want to prevent ACL injuries, that are recovering from ACL injuries, and that want to fully overcome. So meaning that they've had one and they want to incorporate a few exercises that'll prevent them from having another one in the future.
Cool. So you guys pretty much heard that, and here's the deal, you know. Yeah, I understand where Rick's coming from. We both went to the same certification course. You know, a lot of cool things between our backgrounds, clinically and whatnot. But I think a lot of trainers out there, you know who you are, don't have those resources, and don't feel like you have to let that lag time go, where 3 months while they're working with their allied healthcare professionals or PTs or whatnot, you're gonna lose them, you know. And if you do, they're either dedicated clients or they're not. And if they do, they'll come back to you. But you have resources like Rick. You know, Rick, what's your website again? Repeat it one more time.
It's exercisesforinjuries.com, and that's my blog. And there's tons of information and videos, so you can see, you know, what I do and what I talk about. And if you need to contact me, you can contact me through the blog, and I'll answer any of your questions.
There you go. This is Belton with Element5Fitness.com. I'm out of here. This is a great summit seminar we're going through right now, so we got to head back in. Talk to you later.